You got 10 minutes to talk. And I'll give you the 10-minute mark if we can sit down.
Roby, I want you to know that the Jefferson Jackson Day dinner was night before last, or 2 nights ago, and I gave the shortest speech that I've ever given. They gave me 2 minutes and I took 1. I want you to know. So I'm working on it. First of all, let me thank Roby, obviously, for moderating this. French, certainly for being a candidate. I think French is absolutely right. Being a candidate is an interesting occupation. But just like Bill Clinton said not too long ago, and what French alluded to, being a candidate is an effort, but we're looking for a job. And that's exactly what we're after. We're after a job so that we get up every day and we think about what's going to be the best for the future of our kids and grandkids. And, one of the things when I first got into this race, I had a reporter ask me what would be the first thing that I would like to do when I got to Washington. And I think the thought was, that I want to introduce this piece of legislation or that piece of legislation. And my answer was, the first thing I want to do is find a Republican congressman and make a friend. Because I think there's too much rancor that's going on up there. Last year, when I decided to get into this race, the government was shut down. 2 of my 3 grandkids had birthdays. Harper turned 5 and Isabella turned 9. And the dysfunction and the discord and the rancor, the lack of predictability of what the future might hold, the lack of knowing what the rules are. It's hard to play a game if you don't know what the rules are and they change the rules. In 1989, I had spent 1 term in the Arkansas General Assembly. And because of one reason or another, I decided that City Hall might be the next adventure, and that adventure did start in 1989. And when I got there, North Little Rock was roughly 50 square miles. We grew a few to 54.6 square miles in the 24 years that I was there. But we've been pretty well flat in growth for the last 40, 50 years. In 1960, we topped out pretty much at 58,000, and then we grew over the years to 64,000 and some change. And we were pretty well surrounded by other jurisdictions. And so I kind of took a look at what we had when I got there, and I decided that what my job really was exactly what your job is, and that's real estate development. The only difference is I had 54.6 square miles, and I needed to develop a city because there were a variety of things that we didn't have in North Little Rock. In fact, I came south of the river in 1947 to come into this world because we didn't have a hospital starting out. And then on, we started moving a few things in our direction. The census was going to be in 1989, the 1990 census was going to be the following year. And so one of the first things I got involved with was trying to get ready to make sure we counted all the noses in North Little Rock, because there's a lot of things that depend on how many noses are in your city, how many heads are in your beds. And so we counted, and for the first time in the city's history, we lost population. Now, we've been pretty well flat, but we lost population for the first time in the 1990 census. And I started thinking, now, what can we do to start growing our community in a way that would really be adding to the quality of life? And Little Rock, shortly after I got there, passed an ordinance that said that all future employees were going to be mandated to live in the city. And I actually thought about that for about an hour. And then I came to the conclusion that if I had to make people live in my city, I lost the battle. What I needed to do was make people want to live in my city, so we started about a variety of things. It took a little bit longer than I had hoped. We started getting involved in a number of things. We started doing things that made the quality of life better for our community. I don't have to tell you all about